Okay. Hello, everyone. How are we? Boys, how are you?
Fantastic. Yourself?
I could not be better, Michael.
Good.
Wee bit tired.
Wee bit tired.
Wee bit tired. The boys had an early wake-up call this morning. Alarm went off at 3:20 for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was a little later than that, but it was still an early rise.
Yep. Early rise, early to bed is what they say.
Yes.
I probably still won't sleep tonight.
RB, how was your weekend?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's busy. It's just, you know what? It's just nice to have it like sunny out.
Yeah.
A little bit brighter. You know, you can actually like spend time after, well, you know, time change as well. You spend a little time after, you know, dinner, go for a walk or something, whereas before it would be dark out and you do that. So
Yeah.
just good. Good all around.
Definitely. Michael and I had a lovely weekend in the Big Apple.
It was nice to be in New York again.
It really
been
was.
a while.
Yeah,
It's been too long.
2018 was the last time you and I were there. It was great to be down there. We were doing some fittings with some of our clients who are based down there, and we met some new ones, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, hope to do more of that again in the future.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
A little remote fitting. Guys, we'll kind of give you guys a minute to jump on in there.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Yep. As it is, where's the hat from, RB?
Oh, True Linkswear.
True Linkswear, there you go.
Enjoy the walk.
It's keeping the hair.
Time for a haircut. It's over 2 weeks. Come
No,
on.
it kind of like goes everywhere. It's matted and it was early, so. I mean, I didn't get up as early as you guys. You guys were on a plane when I got up, but that's okay.
All right, a few more people jumping on in.
Rank the steak. Rank the
Rank
steak.
the steak.
Rank the steak.
Rank the steak. Go
I
for
smell
it.
good, actually.
Are you reading all right?
I had a new cologne this morning. Rank the steak. That was good. Very good. It's
On the Portnoy scale,
I'm gonna give it a 9.1.
9.1.
It was good. To be fair, I don't like steak at home, so
9.1.
Like you don't cook it, or you just?
I do, but I'm not a fan.
I would
think
say that was an 8.5. Like, it's not the best steak I've ever
No.
had, but it was
was cooked well and
one of the
seasoned well.
tastiest.
You'll remember it, right? You'll be
Yeah.
like, I remember that
100%.
meal.
I will
All right, yeah,
remember
that's-
Sparks in New York. 100%.
That's what you gotta-
Yeah, I will do.
The wine was good.
Wine was very nice. Yeah,
wine
little
was
silver oak for the lads.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, a wee treat. Please review the Enesis putters. Mike's going to do that one, I think, next week, aren't you?
Sure.
You've got that one on your plan for next week. You've excited at that one.
As long as you wear the boots, that's fine.
The boats. Oh, don't ban anyone. Why do I keep trying to ban people? Okay, Tim is asking, what club head speed for a driver is considered stiff shaft, boys?
Well, that's me. Low mid 90s.
Up to
Boy, up to. I would have someone in up to maybe one.
This is a hard one for me.
110-ish.
110.
Yeah, and then I play with weight more than anything.
Yeah, I think once you kind of get in that in between category, you know, you're starting to look at how do they load it. Do you want to go up in weight or down in weight? All those sorts of things. So, you know, flex is obviously one way to judge the shaft that you're picking. My kind of numbers I tend to be 95 to 105 on either side of that. I'm starting to think there's like a 105 to 107 and then probably 93 to 95. Then you're somewhere in between, and I decide on how you load it, somewhere about there. So, RB?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to like the person's load profile, because you can have someone who is, and we have outlier shafts as well, like the Autoflex, which kind of like defy characteristics of other shafts that would fit into the category for recommended swing speed. So, you know, it comes down a lot of times to not just swing speed, but how someone loads it. Old analogy, but the one that I like to use is Ernie Els versus Nick Price. You ever watch those two? They're like complete polar opposites of how they actually load the golf club.
Yeah.
And that's why Nick Price at one point was playing like a 90 gram like NV driver shaft, because he grew up in the age of steel as well, so that's a little different. But think it all comes down to what works. Because I mean, you've used a 50 gram for a while now.
I really enjoyed that 50 last year, and I'm still, to be honest, I'm still not convinced that's going to come out the bag.
Yeah.
That 50X was fantastic. What?
It'll be a whole new bag. By next week, you'll have a whole new bag.
We'll see. I think there's going to be a nice little, well, Steve Parker's is hit the nail on the head. What graphite design compares to the Ventus Blue Velocore? We'll be putting some graphite design against Ventus Blue Velocore when I do my driver shaft testing. So I've kind of decided on what head I'm going to use, and I think I've got 4 or 5 different shafts to decide. So Steve, I like the graphite design XC for that type of profile, a little softer in the handle and definitely stiffer in the tip section. Yeah. Is that good one?
Here's an interesting question. I think it's, it kind of based on some of the stuff that we've done recently. So we've done a lot on, increasing compression, reducing dynamic loft.
Yep.
Any content on increasing loft? Just swing it like I did.
Well, I mean, so I'm not going to spoil it, but we are going to do a video today on how to compress your irons better, how to get more compression out of it, and we're going to do a cool little experiment on that one. So I'm going to keep that one up my sleeve until the video, so it kind of surprises you guys. So yeah, that'll be a fun one, because I think compression. The reason I wanted to do that video is I still believe that's a misunderstood term. I don't think people truly understand what compression truly is. So that'll be a good one.
Because you hear it a lot on television, right? And I think that's where a lot of people get the questions from.
Yeah.
Is, he compresses it so well, or it does this so well. And you're like, they're not always using the correct terms on television. I think they're trying to maybe make things a little bit too simplified.
For sure. Giancarlo's asking, Mikey, when are you going to get him in the bay?
Giancarlo is my elementary school friend and doesn't need to come in the bay anytime soon. He still has his Goliath driver.
His Goliath.
Actually, to be honest with you, a couple boys that I grew up with, Giancarlo, and we've gone to our old elementary school and hit balls in the field. They're interested in it now. I was the loser for playing golf growing up, and now look, they all want free equipment. They all want lessons.
All the cool kids play golf now,
yeah,
right?
Apparently.
I can remember lugging my clubs into high school for the days you go play golf. I think it was like, oh, he's leaving. It's like, well, yeah, because I get to leave school and go play golf today on a nice day.
Corey's saying Ian's growing a goatee. I'm actually not growing a goatee, Corey. I'm just had an early rise this morning. Just never had a chance to shave, that's all.
I just can't. You know what, though? You got in from New York. We had this discussion. No pizza. Not a single slice.
Our flight was delayed on the way out. We had to change planes. So we were supposed to get in at 1 o'clock. We ended up getting to our hotel by 3:30. The plan was to go to John's of Bleecker Street.
Oh, okay.
That was the plan. But we had a reservation down in Little Italy, and at 3:30 we thought by the time we get down to John's of Bleecker Street, waiting probably a crazy queue, it might be 4:30 before we eat something, and it's going to be so good we'll stuff our faces ruin our dinner. So we didn't do it.
All right.
So we had a couple of nice reservations booked for night time, so we'll definitely, I think we're down there back there in 2 weeks. So I think John's will be on the list for then.
Can you send me a cheesecake?
Juniors?
Sure.
We'll
cheesecake.
So we flew.
What?
We flew into
cheeses for pizza and a sandwich.
Cheesecakes are epic.
Oh, Mike.
We flew into LaGuardia. What a reno they've done at LaGuardia.
Really?
Like billions worth.
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically a dumpster of an airport, and it is one of the nicest airports. I mean, Dubai's a little special, but in terms of like a airport you fly in North America, as good as I've been in.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Really nice.
So here's one from Harrison. Have you ever fit anybody for single length irons?
No. I had someone ask me to build them a set of single lengths with standard heads.
Oh no.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
I think from a club building side of things, you need very specific club heads. So that's obviously like the first point. But the second thing is, I think there are 2 categories that they fit, and like fit is a very general term. Someone who is a beginner and just wants to completely simplify their golf game, doesn't really care to practice, and I think it's a good option to try. I didn't say it's the best option. Or you are a complete nut crazy high swing speed player and you're someone like Bryson, you want to try stuff, but you still see him struggle with his shorter irons and his wedges, he talks about his chipping woes. I just think there has to be a middle ground, which is, that's where variable length comes into play. There is Cobra does sell a good number of those sets, but I think a lot of it is geared towards the beginner golfer that is looking to really super simplify. And in that case, it does help. But swinging a 7 iron length pitching wedge, I don't think for a lot of players is necessarily the best option.
I agree. I mean, we've done a lot of retrofits for single length. We've not specifically fit many people into single length. I think it's something you probably go directly to a manufacturer who specializes in that. You might go to an Adele, you might go to a Cobra, you might go to I think Sterling back in the day. We done a review in their single length stuff that was pretty decent. So I don't think we would be the ideal company to go to if you were going to go and see about getting some single length. Matt's got a great question. How would you go about making critical swing changes while still performing well on the course, trying to break away from poor habits he's had for years, but doesn't want to start from ground zero?
I get it.
What's that?
I get it. I don't. Anytime I've worked on my swing, I'm always working on my swing in a way. I like maintenance. I don't like a rebuild. I don't want to rebuild. I play too much golf in my opinion, to struggle for 1 year. There's always going to be good and bad, but I always call it maintenance. Small changes, and then once it clicks, then I'll work on the next thing, rather than, I know a couple people that have just overhauled the whole swing, and it definitely is a struggle.
I love the way Tiger approached it with Butch back in the day. So they knew that they had a swing overhaul coming. They were going to try and get him from being kind of across the line and hitting he had the two-way miss going at that point, where he the club would get across the line, club would drop behind him as his hips rotated so fast, and he would flip the face or block it. And they went about basically making his wedge game the best on tour. So that was the way they started. So they made him unbelievable with his chipping. He was always a great clutch putter. So they got him very good with his wedges, knowing that he was going to hit it all over the map for the best part of a year. And then at that point, his short game would save him. So as he got incrementally better with the long game, he obviously, his ball striking stats caught up. So I would say if you have some swing changes in mind, make sure prior to doing that, your short game is really on point, because you still want to score. You still want to go out there and be competitive. You don't want to, have your ball in your pocket every other hole. So I would say make sure you start with some short game work. No balls in the lake, RB. Start with some short game stuff first, Matt, and then that will give you a foundation to work on the longer swing stuff, knowing that you've got a great short game to back you up.
Great point.
Thanks, Michael.
Daniel was asking Al was asking, you had this the other day, 13 to 15 handicap, game improvement or player distance, T300 versus P790 as an example. Good boy, was his name John yesterday?
Yeah, sorry, say it again, what was the...
So he's asking 13 to 15 handicap, game improvement iron or player's distance iron?
I mean, not every 13 to 15 handicaps created equally, is it? We can see people who lose 2 or 3 balls off the tee, but generally are pretty handy. The rest of it depends. Really depends what your iron game is like. What do you need? Where do you need this sort of forgiveness? I tell you what, props to golf.com. Did you see their article over the weekend on blades versus cavity back?
I haven't, no.
It's pretty cool. Guys, if you get a chance, go to golf.com. Gene Parenti at Swing Lab done a really cool little test, which was a cavity back versus a blade. So they tested center strikes versus half an inch in the heel, half an inch in the toe, 3/4 inch in the heel, 3/4 inch in the toe. And they basically found that centered strikes, no difference, right?
Yep.
Basically the same. I think we could have figured that one. Heel strikes, the blade performed really, really well on half an inch in heel strikes, obviously more towards where the mass is. On toe strikes, it performed. There was a big drop off. Terrible.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, for those people out there who are thinking about where you're, or whether you maybe want to progress into some, more of a blade style club, understanding your strike pattern can really help you, whether that's going to be a positive or negative experience for you.
Yeah.
But go check out the article. I thought it was pretty cool.
I don't think I've ever put a wear mark on the toe. That explains why I like blades.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was an old school thing. You used to look at the old school players. I mean, they used to talk about that little kind of wear mark was slightly heel side for the better players. Remember seeing some Alathabal irons and some other players who had really nice wear marks just in the heel.
When I was down at Artisan, there was a 1 iron built for Tiger, and it was an old 1 iron blade, and the wear mark was, I mean, it wasn't heel, it wasn't toe, it was dead center on the 3rd and 4th groove. It was something I will never do.
Pristine.
I don't think I have clubs long enough to give them a wear mark.
That's true. That's very true.
You ever worn a set of irons? You ever had something long enough to wear them out?
No.
I have.
You?
I've done a few.
What were they?
Done it in a set, that 695.
The ZB?
No, sorry, the ZBs. I wore them out. I wore the ZB blades. I wore them out. And I think I had a set of TP forged that I wore the faces out in those as well. But at that time I was hitting 600 to 1,000 balls every day. At that point I was practicing really, really hard.
Maybe those like 710 AP2s. I had those for an extra couple of years. Maybe I wore a couple of, look, when I say worn out, I'm not going to say they were, the faces were going dark, silver, the gold even, but definitely some wear marks on it.
I just want to hit them good enough to actually wear them out in the first place.
April 3rd, who wins? What's April 3rd?
I don't know.
We're talking Masters?
3rd.
Masters is in the week after.
No, it's the
It's
week
the week after that, yeah.
Oh, Dell? Is it Dell match play?
Louis asking April 3, who wins here?
Not really sure.
Maybe let's know what we're missing there, Louis. Not sure what that is. Ruben's asking, are all upgrade free shaft options all made for shafts, or not the same as what you get from the manufacturer? For instance, Callaway's has his black RDX. No, there is a mix. And we mistakenly said that the Kylie white was a made for, and it's absolutely not. So we took an L on that one.
Not the first.
Not the first. No,
Not
maybe
the
the last. But yeah, no, there are some shafts that are offered in there. Just depends on the program the manufacturer has.
RDX Blue is one where there's a different stock finish, but
It's the same shaft.
same as PVD. So
Yeah, so no, there are some shafts, Ruben, that you guys can get great value on.
Someone's asking if there's any new Scotty Cameron models coming. I can't say. Mike's head turned.
We wouldn't say that there's not. Put it that
We
way.
wouldn't say that there's not.
really, I thought that was like kind of, never mind. Just forget it.
You think everyone knows just because
I know.
you knew?
No, but
6
there's
weeks
like
ago.
an article from like Off WRX. Maybe they were like showing things on tour, and generally if they come on tour, you're gonna see it pretty soon.
Did you see the fountain at the centre? At the centre of the stores in LaGuardia? I never. I
don't remember
I might have
that.
still been half asleep.
Yeah.
There you go. Too early for the lads. Joseph is asking, why do y'all not ever review the JPX Fly High hybrids? They're great hybrids that allow you to keep the same iron shaft in them. Yeah, I think they are great hybrids.
Yeah.
That would be a Ronnie test, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Probably a Ronnie test. Yeah, most likely. So Ronaldo is booked in. The game, the Old Firm game on the 3rd. That's what it is. Rangers versus Celtic. That's what it is.
You boys have to win that one.
We do. They were 3 points behind. Yep. But it's at our patch. So
I think the biggest thing with this particular hybrid, it is geared specifically or more specifically to combo with the iron sets. So that's where I think, from our perspective, it's not like an individual club that stands out like the CLK has in the past, which has the adjustable hosel on it. And I think, it doesn't mean it's not, I don't mean it's a bad golf club. It's just, that's kind of what it's specifically designed for. But it's more a test for gapping purposes for a particular set of irons. Doesn't mean you can't fit into them. But that's kind of why we haven't really focused on it, because it is a very niche product within that line. So.
Scott Hansen is excited to see that my Golf Spy made new level best players iron in 2022 power to the DTC.
Interesting.
Never saw that.
Yeah.
Haywood rated second on level of forgiveness, and
Is this just again?
It just came out today.
Direct to consumer.
No. 14 was on there. There was another brand. I want to say Titleist came third, fourth. I don't remember exactly. We said it when the Haywoods came out, like for the CB iron, very long heel toe.
Mm-hmm.
Heel toe is one of the biggest determinants of MOI because you're stretching mass further away from the middle of the golf club. So, and also the hosel is relatively short. So from a forgiveness standpoint, we've tested.
I'll take it.
We've tested the.
Did you drink it?
What is it? We tested the new level. They performed quite well. They're not the longest irons, but they are, more of a traditionally lofted cavity back. And I think what direct-to-consumer products has shown, we have someone tweet to us about the new sub 70 irons as well.
Mm-hmm. They look nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So there's lots of options out there when it comes to the consumer and trying product, right? That's the biggest thing. Especially if you're looking for a single piece forged iron. There's a lot of options out there now. So is it for everybody? No, but there's a lot of options if you are in that price category as well to keep in mind.
Love it. Whisker is asking top 3 2022 hybrids to test stroke trial. Top 3. Let's do one each. I'm going to say still G425 is still in there for me. It's one of the options.
Stealth for me.
Oh, you guys see the other one. So I'll say the Callaway because we've hit it, we've tested it. If you're looking for absolute pure distance, the thing is a freaking rocket.
It is a rocket. Yeah, you were hitting that thing miles when you first tested that thing.
So
I had a boy yesterday in a stealth hybrid with a Nippon graphite over steel shaft, and this boy was strong. Holy man, did he rip it! It was unbelievable.
Strong lad. P790s versus stealth irons, boys.
Completely different categories.
Totally different.
If you're looking for a little extra height and something might be a little more forgiving overall, then stealth is very hard to beat.
There you go, Nick. There you go.
Call these the quick hitters.
Dustin's asking, when is the driver bracket coming?
That will need to come pretty soon.
Yeah.
We'll need to get in there.
We've kind of I don't want to say we approached it differently this year.
We will.
We have, but I think the biggest thing is looking at swing speeds. We've had Cynthia's here today. We've done some gapping, and it's a different way to showcase drivers because you think there is, the bracket was always focused on one swing speed, and I think the world of golfers isn't one swing speed. So because of that, we're trying to create a little bit more of a diverse set of golfers to showcase different golf clubs and who works for what player. And we've seen that. We've all fit into like different products so far, things that we've liked. We are all 3 different golfers of different swing speeds, and handicaps.
Yeah.
So I think that's an easier way for players to identify than just saying this one is like the longest A or B, because as we've proven, it comes down to the fit and what works for you.
Absolutely. How can we test Vokies on real grass? Does Voki have a demo? Do they have demo days? Depending where you're based, I mean, Titleist have fitting centres around the country. I'd imagine the tech reps have the Voki bag in their demos. Yeah. So I would say demo day, or if you want to go to a specific facility like Oceanside or here at the National Fitting Centre in Canada. I'm not sure where you're based, Captain, but
if you go to Titleist.com or Titleist.ca, Canadians, obviously, I know they do show, or they used to show a lot of the demo days and test days in there on the website. Used to do Titleist Tuesdays. I know that was like some of the things that you would find, but it just depends on availability. I know, again, talking to golfers that are both private golfers and like public golfers, a lot of the private clubs will have days where they will have more of like an outdoor short game facility you can go to and test with some of the reps. So it just comes down to checking out Titleist.ca.com and finding there, because you'll probably be able to ask some questions on where to find those things.
Love it. Ian, do you guys still use 45 inches as a baseline for driver shafts during fittings? Yes, Jack, we do. 45 is what it is.
What do you guys think of the new TaylorMade stripe ball? Someone asked that. I thought it was pretty clever.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think like Strixon, TaylorMade, like companies that are doing like different ways to just like identify a golf ball is always fun. As
I
long as
like-
there's
I
no
like it
difference in
from that
performance.
perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the different ways to identify it. I kind of like walking up to my ball, knowing that it's, you know, it's not the other two. Like, whose is that one?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I like the yellow ball for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just ultimately just don't want to play yellow ball full time, but I do quite enjoy that element of it.
I play custom number
Well,
Pro V1X this year. I don't know the number yet because everyone at the club plays Pro V1X.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play a custom number because then you don't have to mark it, nothing. You don't need a stripe.
Get a custom True Viz.
No, let's not get carried away, RP. When will the 2022 Cobra Forge Tech be in the Matrix? Andrew Lusty, if you're watching this, you let me know, pal. We're ready for it. We're waiting for it.
We've had that question a couple times, so I think there's definitely demand for it.
I think they release in a couple weeks. Honestly, it might be a Masters release. That might be confidential. Oh well.
Shocker.
Okay, you go first.
Just following up with Louis and his question on that. Yep, so obviously the Old Firm game, Louis, for the football fans out there, do I miss Stevie G? Yes and no. Yes and no. I loved Stevie G. I thought he was amazing for the club. But to be honest, it's been a fairly... I don't think Gio done any... You know, I don't think the team has done any worse since Gio took over. And I think obviously in Europe it's been phenomenal how well they've done. So I think from a playing side of things, I don't think we have missed them. We're doing okay.
Nice.
What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
I agree. Chip.
You still supporting the Swans?
No.
Who's your team?
Man City.
You're a glory hunter.
No, because I watched the doc. It was really good, and then Patty got me into watching football, soccer on Saturdays.
So you always look out for City. Who's your favourite player?
I like Pep, the manager. He's a beauty. Good taste in watches.
I thought you were going to say wine.
I
Do you
like
like wine?
Nah.
Have you had any bottles?
I'm more of a water guy. Evian from the Swiss Alps, or the French Alps.
More of a Roy Kent Richmond fan.
Do we think, George is asking, lead times will change anytime soon?
Yeah, I think
They're
there's
better now.
certain things that are definitely better.
It's improving, George.
Some steel stuff's a little slow, but yeah, it's definitely getting better.
It's a slow improvement. I think nothing's going to flip a switch and make anything go really faster. They're all working at capacity, or very, very close to it. But in time. So there was a question, another little quick hitter about adding lead tape underneath a grip. You do it a lot, or is it something you'd recommend to mess with swing weight or feel?
For in a fit?
In a driver, just like in a driver in general.
I mean, we've done it tons of times. I've had, I will say we're doing a lot of +4 and built up grips already throughout a whole set, which is nice. But would we add extra amps of tape? Yeah, I don't see why not.
Cool.
Thoughts on the new LA Golf putter, lads?
Haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen photos of it, but haven't rolled it or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, first of all, it's in a price category of its own unless you're looking for a completely custom Ping PLD or a Tour Scotty Cameron or Bettinardi Hive or something like that. But
How's your Bettinardi doing?
He's coming.
The Beehive as well.
I've been stung.
It's like it's a curve of like performance and price, right? You're getting more incremental performance in a much higher price point, right? It's like a car. You want to get a really fancy car, you're going to pay a heck of a lot more to get that extra 10 mile an hour top speed kind of thing. So really super high MOI. I don't know for feel or anything like that, but the performance is there for sure. It's just how does that value for any individual consumer is up to them.
LA Golf on the weekend, before you answer that one. Did some fitting with it.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive.
A-Series?
DJ Series.
DJ Series.
Really good. Excited
I
to...
done a little bit with A-Series.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. We've got some stuff for testing, hopefully next week or the week after.
Yeah,
but
it'd be good. Do a little
definitely
wood testing with LA Golf stuff.
might order a demo matrix or 2 or 3 or 4.
You might need it. Why are lead times so bad?
There was this thing back in 2020 called COVID.
Yeah, a little. The world kind of slowed down a little bit, George, with COVID, and then obviously factories were shut, and now supplies are hard to come by, and there's a 2 million grip shortage at Golf Pride, and steel is awfully hard to come by. And
Speaking of Golf Pride,
I think if you look at if we talk numbers here, right? What happened during the last couple of years is we've created a heck of a lot more new golfers, and those people needed equipment. We've seen it in financial reports from Callaway and Titleist that they have sold like 33% more golf clubs across the board. Kind of, I think. I know profits were up, like increased up. So like there's a relative correlation between the amount that they've sold, obviously in price and all the things. So if you factor all that in, companies are selling a lot more golf clubs because there's a lot more golfers. FootJoy sold 33% more shoes. You got all kinds of like people looking for equipment, and this was something that was extremely unexpected. I think if you look back at the beginning of 2020, people were like, what is everyone going to do? And everyone decided to take up golf. And unfortunately, that means just like housing in a lot of places, inventory is down, demand is way up, and it's just people are trying to catch up to that when it comes to equipment, and that's really what it comes down to. It's an economic study.
Yep. Stephen Robertson. I know outdoor TXG has been talked about and others do it. How do you manage the golf ball difference on GC quad outdoors, since it would be with range balls? Would it be with range balls, Steve? Not at a TXG outdoor fit, it wouldn't.
yeah, a little quality ball for your wedge fits, or for any fit has to be quality. We were talking about range balls the other night with someone, and we had a customer, their club, the face kept caving in, caved in 3 times or something like that. Within a couple of weeks, we're like, where are you hitting golf balls? Are you hitting rocks? And he's like, I'm playing off this range, and their golf balls had no dimples, and they were just old, and it's like, you need a better quality golf ball.
Indeed. Yeah, no, we wouldn't do an outdoor fitting experience unless it included a premium golf ball. We just wouldn't do it. We can control the variables really nicely indoors, and if the golf ball being the only constant in the whole thing, we just wouldn't add that in as a variable that we didn't understand the role it was playing. Okay.
Here's an interesting one. So springtime obviously gets a little wet. Do you make any adjustments to the way you hit a shot in softer, wet conditions? Just I guess this is more like a swing thing, but I'm just curious.
I do not. No.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really something I need to worry about. My low point is quite a bit ahead of the golf ball, so I don't really have to worry about that early entry point where the softer turf can play as big of a role. So I just make sure I'm enough down on it that I guarantee to strike a little bit. That's just the biggest thing. Even when you're zero angle attack, I mean, the club entry or contact with the ground will happen prior to the golf ball.
Yeah.
So low point being the lowest point does not mean first point of contact with the golf ball. So for the shallower players out there, wet turf conditions can be a problem for sure.
Yeah.
But just try and get a little steeper.
There we go.
Yep.
Quick tip from Ian in the wet conditions as we get out in there in the soggy spring.
Played in enough of those in the west coast of Scotland, that's for sure.
Does it rain there? Does it rain in Scotland at all?
I mean, it's known to rain there most days.
A little bit? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much every day.
All right.
Yeah.
Every time I'm there, it's sunny like this.
It's just because you're just a ray of sunshine,
Yeah,
Michael.
I bring the good times. The only tip I would have for spring golf is make sure your locker room attendant has full line of Vim in there so you can keep those white shoes nice and clean.
How was your Dundonald experience when you were there? Was that good weather?
It was good.
Pretty good. How many holes you getting?
1 1/4.
For your radar?
I've never been so wet in my life. It rained from underneath us. My dad was he was so livid. That was good. I need to go back.
The only time I've been in Ireland, everyone told me it rained. I was there for 2 weeks. We got half a day of rain. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is amazing. Didn't really play much golf. I spent a lot of time in pubs, that's for sure.
That's the way to do it. All right, what do you got?
Let's see here. What is your consideration when going from a 5 to a 7 wood, or moving into a hybrid or then driving iron? Is it strictly like swing speed? Like, how would you pick those clubs in the long game gapping? Is it Swing speed, player dependent. Yeah, right there.
I mean, it'll be swing speed dependent for sure. It'll be obviously dynamic loft dependent as well. It's really comes down to, can you generate the appropriate gapping? If you struggle to gap your, if your 3-wood and longest iron are significantly further apart, then you probably want to go with hybrid. If you it just depends. It just depends on the player. Slower swing speeds generally will put in more woods. A little bit quicker, you can get away with a driving iron or a hybrid. But sometimes, especially with the modern 3-woods, they have a hard time. Hybrids have a hard time keeping up. I'm starting to see more and more gaps. I think that's why I'm building more and more 5-woods into people's bags, is because the modern day 3-wood has gotten so long. It's a tricky one. We just done a cool one with Cynthia, where I think you guys will like to see that, testing 4-wood versus 5-wood, and kind of a bit of an unexpected kind of turn of events with the peak height and stuff like that. It's a cool one.
There's a nice question there about the weekend's race.
The F1?
Race. What a race.
Oh yeah, you and your red ponies.
What a race. Giddy up.
They figured that car out. It is insane.
Is it ready for the year?
They took those Red Bulls to the pen and took them out. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
So good. What a time to be alive.
Nice.
Tiger's going to win the Masters. Ferrari's going to win World Championship.
It's red Sundays, right? Red shirts, red suits, red cars.
Exactly. Can't get any better.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, Christian is asking, hey boys, pulling a lot of putts recently, putting with a classic Newport. Would a change to face balanced or short slant help? Blade versus mallet.
I'd say the first thing to do would be potentially a grip change. I know it's not obviously I have no numbers, I have no information. I would say test a new grip. It depends on what you got, but you guys would know more better than me if that's something that would help a lot of players with that.
Yeah, I'd certainly love to see. I'd love to see. I mean, there's so many different variables, Christian. In all honesty, I mean, is your alignment a little off?
We had a guy in last week before we went down, and you were fitting him for a putter, and his putter actually was great after you fixed his alignment. I see that a lot in putter fits where it's just maybe move ball position or move alignment around, and the numbers are totally different.
Well, we saw such a cool example when we had Gareth in, and we sort of got people who got the ball inside their eye line, and from their perspective the hole becomes further left, and then when the ball gets outside the eye line it goes further right. You start to see people who are right eye dominant start to open up their bodies a little bit more, and because they're trying to see down the line with their dominant eye. People who have better peripheral vision in their left eye can have generally stand up a little bit squarer, so they have a different type of stroke. I mean, putter fitting is very, very intricate. There's a lot goes into that small discipline, but back to pulling them. Your short-term solution would be to go with a longer blade and a little bit more toe hang. That would be your short-term solution. I don't know if that's really the solution long-term. Potentially also a little bit on the longer side, maybe a half-inch longer as well. That'll help slow down the kind of rate of rotation, keep the face open a little bit longer.
There was a question there. No, is it too early to kind of make your picks? But one was, who's your pick for the Masters to win? The other thing I was going to say is we should do a TXG pool for the Masters. I found a website this morning that can do it.
Okay, we've always talked about doing this.
I know, the last time it was set up, it wasn't very good.
Jamie?
It was set up wrong.
Okay.
I'm going to try it.
Are you willing to take this on?
If I can do it, we'll let everyone know.
Okay.
But no promises.
Spam Mike TXG over this one. That'd be cool. Would you guys like to participate in a wee Masters pool?
Aye.
RB?
Sure.
Do you like a little
gambling? Sports gambling?
Why not?
All for it.
Okay.
It's not like I don't do the on the phone or like the weekly to weekly stuff, but it's always fun to just pay attention a little more. You had another F1 there, Mike. What'd you think of Valtteri out qualifying with the Alpha?
Yeah, I mean it's a little dig. I think Mercedes has got. I mean it's Lewis's team all over again. You know, Georgie's going to sit there for a long time and let him go by every single time for the next while.
Yeah.
But
Well, how long's Lewis got left? 3?
I
3
will
years?
tell you this: he'll win championship this year, and then he'll try to get 10, and then he'll retire at 10.
10 would be something else. Polka. I was using a TrackMan to look at driver numbers. I was presenting too much dynamic loft. Is that a swing issue, or could it be? Could that bring it down with a club head change? You could definitely bring it down with a club head change. I mean, it is a swing issue. There's no doubt about that. There's, if you're delivering too much loft, it is a swing issue. But we can obviously get you in lower loft. We can move the CG. Obviously, shafts make a difference, but it's not the biggest difference when it comes to moving the height up and down. But yeah, you can definitely make a fairly big difference.
Ian Fitz, the winner of the pool.
I'm busy.
No, that'd be good. Sounds good.
Ask Nicole when Ian's next availability is.
Well,
You've got night times, you've got morning times.
I've got children.
I know we've had people ask about it. We get it on Instagram and stuff like that. Our full fits are booking into June at this point. If I looked at the schedule last time, so it is busy. Obviously, we're just trying to keep up. That's the big thing, and that's why you guys are working on the back end to hopefully help.
Mike Fitz, the winner of the pool. I'm busy. I have kids.
You don't have kids.
Golf to play. I have things to do.
We can make that happen.
No.
It's Paddy the pool winner. Paddy Fitz the pool winner.
Perfect. Patrick Burke.
Like a little alliteration for a contest win.
I think Mikey should be. There's a poll going on here, and people are saying Mikey should fit the winner of the Masters.
Okay.
Cool. Either
In a green jacket.
Okay, so let's do that.
I got a green jacket.
Let's do a driver fit for the winner of the pool, virtual or in person.
Mike's got to figure out this pool thing first.
I think it'll be fine.
It'll be
All
fine.
right.
Okay, we can do that.
Just e-transfer me everyone $100 each, and you won't see me ever on this channel again.
Here's one interesting one, Michael, from your perspective, having just been down there. How does your fit differ from your partner's club champion? How do we differ from club champion after being down there?
Obviously the easy one, TrackMan Foresight, but I will say TrackMan was okay. It's been a while since I've been on a TrackMan, but nice to see some things with it.
RCT balls worked well.
They worked well. We have fresh ones too, which is nice.
Yeah, Pro V's and Pro V1X's. I mean, I said, for most of the day I split my screen, so I had the result on the left, I had strike point on the right. So we're looking at dynamic loft and lie angle, all the good stuff that we do in Foresight anyway. So yeah, really, I didn't see any downside of using. The only one downside I saw yesterday of using TrackMan, their bays are a little bit narrower than ours, and at the point where you strike it, the kind of straight down the line, the golfer has to aim a little bit left.
Yeah.
And it is a very minor thing, but that's one thing I've noticed. Their bays are a little bit tighter than ours.
Yeah, I would say the demo selection, they've got a ton of shaft options, a little bit more than. I wouldn't say more than we have, but a little bit different.
Some different stuff.
Some different stuff, yeah.
And obviously, LA Golf was stuff we haven't really worked that much with.
Yeah. And we do offer a couple more lofts in fairway and hybrid.
Yeah.
Which is definitely it's different.
Yeah. But in terms of how do we differ? I don't think we really offer anything that's that different.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, it didn't feel like you walked into a foreign environment, did it?
No. I mean, we just kind of got to work.
Yeah, just kind of crack on. Obviously, technology being probably the biggest thing. Like, we didn't do putter fits. Obviously, Sam Putt Lab, we used Quintix, so we didn't do any of those. But other than that, I mean, I don't think any of the guys that we fit yesterday would tell you that they got a bad fit based on the options that they had or the technology that we used.
The end result is brand agnostic.
Mm-hmm.
We check both boxes. The fact that we're here to maximize performance to the absolute nth degree.
Yep.
And custom.
And custom. Yeah, like that's, and we build it. So that's I mean, they're very much on par. So just kind of how do you get to the end results is slightly different, but in the end, it's about what works for the golfer.
I'll fit the winner. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Thoughts on Wesley Bryan not getting his PGA stats? What's the deal with that?
He was on a medical exemption, and
Okay.
it was coming up, and he needed to finish 6th or better.
That was
to
51st.
Was it?
He only needed like 6 points or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I watched
it was
the
really
putt
tight.
this
He never
morning.
made it.
It was
Struggled.
really tight.
Yeah.
Because I know he made a clutch, like
Just to make the cut.
yeah,
It was
he
insane.
made a clutch birdie on his 36th hole or something like that to
He was
make
3
it.
over yesterday.
That's a shame.
But he still has some status, so like, he'll get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
he'll get into events. It's not
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world,
Right.
but
I feel like I haven't watched golf in weeks.
You guys ever run a Masters Calcutta auction? Do it, it'll change your life. What is that?
I don't know how the Calcutta thing
I
works.
don't know
And
how Calcutta works. It's a very, like, yeah.
it's an old school like way to like gamble and bet on like a team, but I'm not sure. I've read some interesting old school
Yeah.
stories about like
I
gambling
played in
on
a Calcutta, like at a member guest,
Yeah.
and then people put like, they called it a bounty, but they put like a bounty on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
head basically,
Yeah.
and you can win money that way, but I don't even know how to do the pool. Let's not get carried away.
So you think Tiger is going to play in the Masters? You get the question a lot, but you think for sure?
No, he doesn't.
He
No.
doesn't. I'd love to see it, but he doesn't.
No.
No, not this year. He'll play. I think he'll play somewhere before St Andrews, but he will play at St Andrews
Yeah.
for sure.
Flat.
Cold.
It's flat.
Last
It's easy to walk.
last time it was at St Andrews. Well, 2000 and was it
Just
10?
Zach Johnson.
Zach Johnson. Yeah, but that was cold. That one. That was a few cold
It was
days.
a cold win.
and then it was
Uh,
Louis before.
Louis before
Louis
that.
romped the field.
Yeah, I think that one was warm. I was at that.
That was
one.
baked out, that one.
It was baked out. It was. Yeah, that was warm.
What a place.
Yeah. Right. Most underrated food or drink at the turn. Most underrated.
We should normalize pizza at the turn. It's perfect. Nice little carbs, a little fat in there.
Sloppy hands. And
No,
stuff
you just
like
fold
that.
it. Good foldable slice. We're not talking about like a messy pizza.
Caddy's not going to carry a box of pizza for you.
If you're in a car,
Most underrated turn food and drink.
meet
What
with
we had
some.
at the turn is epic. I'm trying to think what. I mean, some of those courses out in Palm Springs, I want to say like the Hideaway and
The
stuff like that.
refreshments.
Like
You ever done the
every
comfort
3 holes,
stations?
Every 3
Comfort
holes.
stations? Oh,
It's
they're so good.
Ice creams and
We had in Mexico, there was a halfway house or a turn, whatever you want to call it, and you were doing like shots of lemon lime tequila, but in like the ice glass, shot
sounds
glass,
pretty
whatever, and
good.
then you throw it against the wall, and
Yeah.
it was a good time.
throw it against the wall.
You throw it against the wall. It's like there's a target or something.
Hooligan.
We did some filming back in the day at Scottsdale National, and they had the comfort stations. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
You want ice cream? Here you go. Here's a drawer. Here, take an ice cream. Here, you need a drink.
Haagen-Dazs.
Oh, it's just ridiculous.
Haagen-Dazs.
It's insane. I played like 6 holes. I just stopped. I didn't have like food.
The Discovery Land properties do that really well.
Yeah.
It's not the way I like prefer to play golf, but it's a nice way to enjoy it once in a while.
Yeah, if you're playing golf, if you're playing golf like on vacation stuff like that, you're just chilling. It's a good way to do it. What are the thoughts on more people using graphite shafts in their irons, boys?
Love it.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do a lot of graphite. We do a lot with that Aerotech private reserve. Accra has always done well for us.
MMT.
MMT
So
is
good.
good. Yeah, we do really well.
And if you can reduce, talk about reducing vibrations that can cause injury, and now you've got graphite that's, super strong and stiff. There's Accra's got graphite that's 125 gram, with a tie nickel mesh down the bottom of the shaft to keep it super stable. I mean, there is graphite as stiff as steel out there, so it fits everyone now.
If you think of how stiff a 70-gram driver shaft can be at 45 inches, or say 43 and a half if it's cut, right? And you take that material and shorten it how stiff you could be at 70, 80, 90 grams while offering vibration reduction and the ability to fine tune balance point and bend points because the materials that are used are not homogeneous like steel. Options are endless, and that's why we see so many options on the wall, and I think that's why from a fitting perspective you guys see why they work so well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've done well for a long time with graphite. We really have.
No Yemen in the chat today. I'm surprised. He must be painting.
I was going to nearly say he's busy, but he's never busy. Okay, Calcutta, you bid on players in an auction style.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
That makes sense. There he is. Oh, Percy Pig himself.
Percy Pigs.
There he is.
Oh, Yemen.
Hello, Mr. Yemen.
Here's an interesting. Okay.
Haggis.
Someone comes in.
Haggis. I nearly said haggis.
Someone comes in with 10-year-old irons, like a player's cavity. Is it still an option to reshaft those and refit those kind of thing, or do you always say like? I think it just depends on the age and how well the irons work, but also like how worn the irons are. To be completely honest with you, I don't think there's a good or bad way to reshaft an old set of irons, like a retrofit, but. Just especially if there's a big difference. If you're going from a stock S300 shaft into something to like a 60 or 70 gram graphite, huge difference. It could perform different in a different head, but it comes down really to what the player's looking for, right?
It absolutely does.
Aiden's asking, what are your guys' favorite courses in the Vancouver area?
Stanley Park pitch and putt. That was a blast. So much fun.
I'm going to say Shaughnessy.
Capilano's mine.
Well,
So
I haven't played
enjoy
it.
RB.
Well, I haven't played any of those, but I know
Actually,
like
Capilano's got a good
short course.
halfway house.
Oh, okay.
So good.
Is
You
you
should
salmon?
need
Stanley
power
Park pitch and
chip.
putt for a couple hours of killing time if you're just really gonna have some fun. But as far as golf courses, you boys are a lot more
Cap's good.
well-rounded than me. I haven't played a lot of any golf.
Shaughnessy's
so.
fairways are 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
I
it's
did not
tight.
find one of them.
It is tight. Billy Bird is asking, did you see Acra's iSteel is only chrome now? Yes, we did. We've got some. We got our demos through, haven't we?
They are coming.
They're coming.
115s are
We do have some.
105, 125
Yeah.
are not ready yet, but yes, they have gone to chrome.
Do you prefer the chrome or the eco satin finish?
Chrome, 100%. Sorry about the environment, but the Eco Satin rusted a little bit, and chrome's the way forward.
There you go. There we go. Mikey's all about the amenities.
That is a lie. I like the golf course.
So you do. You like
If I liked the amenities, I'd be at a golf and country club, not a golf club.
Yeah, no, you are at TGC for the golf.
Oh, so good. I might go by tonight. Woohoo. Oh, there the hairdryer melting the snow. Open that short course.
Would be nice to play out there
I'll invite you.
once or twice.
I invited Cody. He's coming.
He said he's busy.
Me too. Our dates didn't match.
Uh,
Can I get a refund on my EcoSat? I don't know your name. Sorry.
yeah, we.
Never heard of you.
Can we ban that?
Can I get a refund on the part you didn't paint above the kitchenette? Then we'll chat.
I think we were
Picasso.
going for like a
Camouflage.
dual colour or something.
Very good.
50 Shades of White.
That's the top of Yemen's head.
Okay, you got two here. You guys played Goodwood. What'd you think?
Goodwood.
Yeah.
I love Goodwood. You don't love it that much, do you?
I like it.
You said it was a.
Okay, that's
said
a
it-
lie.
you-
I said it's good. It's not great.
I think Goodwood's
It's good.
excellent.
It's a lot of fun. So it's cool.
It's good.
Shoes for traction.
G4.
Shoes for traction. FootJoy Classics with old school spikes in it.
How's your hip feel?
Yeah.
Broken?
I'm lugging them.
Aye.
That's the way to do it. Ian, whatever happened to your Shricks irons with graphite shafts? I hit them down in Orlando. Can I buy them? Clifton, those are long gone. Those are long gone. I think I've had a couple of sets of Shricks with graphite. I think I had Shricks 765s with Acra
You don't have too many
graphite.
clubs.
And then I had a set of TX7s with MMTs. MMTs? Yeah, I did.
MT 125s, yeah.
Oakley has them.
Do you guys? I know this came up last week. Do you guys ever spend any time on eBay or like used club places looking for old gear you want to buy? I'm on there way too much.
No, not really.
Way too much.
No.
Yeah, I love the old stuff. I just, if you can find it, it's cool. But like, I'm always very specific what I'm looking for. So it doesn't mean I buy a lot. I just kind of browse, and if you come across something that's cool, then by all means. But the last time I did that, I think I bought a Nike SQ tour driver. It was kind of mislabeled. I got an 8-degree head for. I literally paid more in shipping. I paid $13 for this thing. So paid more in shipping to get it here than I did for the club. So that's why I don't really do it.
Your iron chip yet?
What?
Your irons you bought off eBay?
760s? No, I didn't trust the seller.
Really?
Yeah. No, I didn't trust that it were a legit set because I saw there was a bunch of used sets around like $1,000, and this was a brand new set 3 wedge at $1,100. So I just went, that doesn't sound right that everyone else is selling
doesn't have a
used.
set those kicking around somewhere.
Bovie's looking.
I was gonna say.
I reshafted a set. It's funny you mentioned that because I reshafted a set of those. I did the ferrules on them a set this past weekend, and I was like, yeah, these are pretty good. The sole's good. It has has a lot of like leading edge on that. Like I don't remember like seeing that.
Yeah.
And I put it down. I was like, these are actually like really
And
nice.
they're so soft.
What shaft?
DG 120 tours.
That's nice.
Tour issues. That's the ones. RB, what is the club you're looking for the most that you haven't found yet?
A set that's always really cool. It's hard to find are the Adams MB2s. Not the ones with the screw in the back, but the ones with the plugs. They were like the raw set. They came with a set of KBS black tour shafts. I don't care about the shafts. I just always look for the heads.
Yeah.
You can find them, but a lot of times either like super beat up, people want an arm and a leg for them. And I've already got a set of Adams CMBs, which I got last year, thanks to, I don't remember who it was on Instagram, reached out. I did pay for them. I didn't get them for free. He had a set, and I kind of made a little deal for them. But those are always just a cool set to try and find because I thought they were really neat. And I always liked that Aaron Badley played them.
Mm-hmm.
He could hit a good iron.
He was.
He could hit a good iron.
Struggled a wee
What
bit.
irons are you using now?
God, I have no idea. I think ping. Is he
Yeah.
ping?
Yeah, I think he's got 710s or something like
So
Say something else.
that. Ian, got the GC3. Do you know if Foresight has any plans to add in to get impact location like HMT? No, I think it's just one dot mode, isn't it? GC3. I don't think there is a plan for that, but
little foot spray.
a little foot spray, that'll do the job.
Someone's at Michael Y. Question for the panel. This is a panel.
Are we a panel
What are you
now?
looking for the most this golf season? Our golf season.
Playing.
Great weather. I want great weather.
Invitations to great golf courses.
A couple golf trips.
Okay, where would you like to play?
Oh, let me get the list out. I'd like to do a little California trip.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to do a little trip out to the Hamptons again.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we'll do those. When we do that one to the Hamptons, though, we have to do like the Westchester side as well. I mean, not just out on Long Island.
We'll be on business, so
Yeah.
you name it.
We'll go down a couple of rounds. We've got work in between.
Fit in the city, back out.
Back out.
Helicopter to the Hampton.
Perfect.
Caviar in the helicopter.
Ian, I'm surprised you're not going with the P750s. They were awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, I think the 750s are great, but to be honest, if you loved 750s, you're happy with the
Yeah.
P7MC.
Yeah, true.
Right, it's a very similar set. The 760 had some real tech in there. I mean, when you get down to some of those long irons with the speed foam in them, I mean, the 3 iron's 19 degrees and was a little rocket ship. So I kind of just liked the little bit more tech in there. And, I use the Apex Pro 4 iron, so I do like to have a little bit of tech in the long irons. So that's just a set that's designed the way I would like to play them. 7 through wedge with no speed foam, and then 3 through 7 with speed foam.
Someone's asking we should test an old Nike driver. I do have that one we could bring in, which would be fun. I also have what do we got? The TaylorMade. We've been debating the TaylorMade 300 series, like OG 2001 series driver versus the TaylorMade 300 mini driver, the new one. I do happen to now own both, so could be worth a little old versus new, Mike. Maybe get you
older than me.
2001.
I was pretty old.
You were a toddler dragging that thing around. Maybe.
Yeah.
You were still playing your little plastic clubs at
Fisher
that point.
Price.
It was better than.
Fisher Price.
Actually, my first ever club was a 6-iron from US Kids. US Kids. It's like
Is it?
this long.
Yeah.
So good.
Have we played Tobacco Road? I have never played Tobacco Road. Some people like it.
Really?
I've never played it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
We need to get back down there.
I so badly want to play Pioneers again.
Our good pal has invited us back down, so it would be rude not to take Ryan up on his invite.
I don't want to insult a guy.
Yeah, it's not nice to turn people down. How important is a ball fitting to you guys? I would say it's vitally important, David. I don't think a fit I do goes by without asking the question, what ball do you play, and
Make a recommendation.
yeah, make a recommendation at the end of it based on the results we get.
Sometimes we have a couple sleeves kicking around of something we'd like to recommend, and we will use it throughout the fitting if it comes to that.
Sand Valley. I've never.
So nice.
It was one of the best things about doing these Q&As and doing the Instagram stuff. See the amount of people who are so generous to say, "I'd love to host you guys at this club." Augusta.
Or Augusta.
And
or
then,
Augusta.
can you imagine getting an invite to Augusta?
I mean, I'd probably poop my pants. Tell you one thing. See if that ever happens. I'd cry on that first tee. I'd have to be on drugs.
Well, something just to keep you calm.
I need a couple drinks for sure. Be
Calm
so
your nerves.
nervous. You? I would take a week off, practice, and then go play.
I know, amazing. Lots of Sand Valley, Sage Valley. We get the invite to Sage Valley, didn't we?
Did get the invite to Sage Valley.
Yeah, that's on the list.
It's the valley I can't wait to visit.
Yep, the Valley of the Sage. We're going. Mr. Fogel, we are going. All right, let's do 2 more questions. We've just tipped over the hour. What else we got?
No invites to Augusta yet. Nice.
We're just gonna stay. You gonna stay on, Mike? We'll just keep going. Pooping your pants will not get you through the gates at Augusta National.
He's already been through the gates.
I've been to the gates. It would just be my second time. Not the real gates though.
We're going to be driving down Magnolia Lane next time.
To the theme song.
So here's one. This is an interesting one. So when does like a young golfer, you mentioned your first set being US Kids, Mike, when do they start transitioning into a full set? And is it merely size, strength, clubhead speed? There's no real age variance.
No.
It all comes down to clubhead
You
speed.
could get a tiny 14-year-old. I had a young kid from, I think he was in grade 7 or maybe grade 8. So how old are you in grade 8? 13?
13?
I think so, 13.
13, 14?
And he was maybe shorter for his age. Maybe that's the height you're at in grade 8. I'm not sure, but the kid was so strong. It was unbelievable. It went totally different direction than what you would normally fit someone his age, his height. It was crazy. Great ball striker. Made me jealous.
I can remember working in a fitting studio, and this little kid came in. He was like maybe 5 feet tall, and I thought, okay, cool. And I was like building some golf clubs. He's taller than that.
Oh, so you can see he's taller than you.
He was in the kid's in the bay, and like didn't think anything of it. All of a sudden, I'm like, who's hitting shots in there? I thought maybe it was the parent, and I realized that it was the kid. And the kid's swinging. He was 13 or 14 years old, like shorter kid, and swinging a 6-iron at close to 100 miles an hour. And you're like, holy crap! Okay, like this is not. You're not just fitting a kid. You're fitting the way someone swings. It's the same with like there's no men's or women's clubs. You're just fitting a golfer. It just happens to be for size or strength or whatever it happens to be, clubhead speed. Golf ball doesn't care. So when it comes to finding what's going to work for that player, it's just dynamics and understanding how that person can control the golf club you give them.
I always say to parents of juniors who are playing at a good level, they tend to develop faster in clubhead speed than in sort of physical strength. They can often swing the club very fast, very quickly. They can go from 85 miles an hour with their driver to 110 with their driver literally within 18 months. So they kind of tend to skip past lots of phases that we would fit them into certain shafts or profiles. Don't rush the juniors to play heavy, stiff stuff. That's always one to be mindful of. Transition, you can have a 13, 14-year-old junior who's in Nippon 950s. Next time you see them, they're swinging their 6-iron at 94 miles an hour, and you might be tempted to reach for the X100s and the Project X65s. Don't. Yeah, you're not doing them any favors by doing that. A nice Modus 105X or something like that. I mean, that's 113 grams or so. Make the jump gradually. Don't be inclined to go all the way. Dave Fogel would like to see Mikey fit into women's clubs. Well, he already is in women's clubs.
Yeah.
So you just need to come up here and
come on up. Let's get a game.
Let's get a game. Oh, sounds like a money game.
Aye, sure. I'll use the women's clubs. No problem.
See what we got here. I'm trying to find one more. I got one that I just asked on the Q&A. I was going to use this for the podcast, but I'll ask it now. If someone's got a driver shaft that's say like 5 to 10 years old, and it fits them, it works really well, do you think they're going to see an advantage sometimes if they go to like new technology? Because I mean, some of the shafts like the DI are close to a decade old. Like, I don't think there can be a jump in materials, which in some cases like the 1K that we've tested recently, like there's that. But I think it just comes down to the profile, the weight, flex, and profile of what that shaft is. I think the materials matter in certain cases, but in other times, like a steel fiber shaft, that design and that process has been around for like a long period of time. They've obviously like tweaked it a little bit, but overall, like there's not anything that's drastically changed. I think that's from a consistency from a fitter's perspective. I don't think there's really, it can be, again, talking about new materials, but in some cases I don't think there's always that jump that people expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think if you talk to shaft designers about things like this, I mean, there's obviously when budgets are at play, there's certain, when they don't have quite the budget to spend on it, there's certain little shortcuts you can take to stiffen a shaft in certain area, make a larger butt diameter or whatever it might be. There's lots of ways, around that, whereas if you get a material that's of a stronger nature, you can use a little bit less of it or use it in some parts of the shaft. So, I think when it comes to to shafts, materials are always moving forward, and that was one of the things Gav told us about TZ5, TZ6, because I said, like, you guys developed that TZ line so far, it was so advanced. When you 3 years on, what's new? He's like, well, materials are always becoming more available to us, so they can get more towards an ideal bend profile based on just the materials they have at their disposal. Maybe they don't have to quite take those shortcuts that they had to the previous shaft, and they can get more towards the ideal shafts. But one thing I always say to people, an expensive shaft isn't better than a cheap shaft. It's just expensive and cheap. Mm-hmm. It's not better. It doesn't mean you necessarily are going to fit or always hit a more expensive shaft better. Look at someone like Brandon Grace. He went from an Autoflex into a Fujikura Vista Pro, right? Literally the most expensive shaft on our wall into the cheapest shaft on our wall.
Yeah.
How does that work if expensive is better?
Do you remember? I can remember back, like, I did show some age and being a club junkie. I can think of like the Matrix HD6 HDE or whatever it was.
The TPHDE.
TPHDE. That's it. Yes, thank you. In Canada, that thing came out to $1,200.
Yeah.
$1,200, right? And that was 10 years ago. So, and people, and being in the shop, people would test them out and they'd be like, I don't hit any better. It's like, well, yeah, it doesn't mean that it fits you, right? I could try in a $1,200 suit, and if it doesn't fit me, it's not going to make me look any better.
Yeah.
So I think that's really what it always comes down to, because I think that was kind of like it wasn't a novelty. I mean, it had technology in it as far as materials were concerned.
Yeah.
But it didn't mean it was better for a certain golfer.
No, exactly. I mean, we'd heard those stories about the materials in that some of them were exposed, some of them were flammable. those materials that were in there. They had the HD cut on the inside, the hexadecagonal cut on the inside that basically stopped the shaft from ovaling. It had an ion snowflake paint job on it.
It was cool.
It was really, really cool. So I mean, that was a unique one. I loved that shaft actually. I actually played that in my driver and my favorite.
14 times.
That's great. Okay, last question, because I've seen it asked a few times. As a man in his 70s but still carrying a low single-digit handicap, is there a quality aftermarket shaft that I should consider? Smooth transition, Ventus Red, or R or R2? Thanks. We talked about this a little bit in the past. I mean, talk about having a smooth transition, low single-digit handicapper, clearly a very good golfer. You're the player that should tinker with some additional length on the shaft and things like an Autoflex. But if Autoflex is out of the budget, going towards shafts are like that, just to see if longer can get you a little bit more. Done a fit for a great guy yesterday, Joe. Fit him into a Mitsubishi ZF40 regular with a TSI 3, and it was unbelievable. His club head speed went from 82 to 89 by the time we were done, because we gave him the extra length, we gave him it lighter, and he still defaulted to swing at the same speed. And it's like, no, Joe, you don't have to swing at the same speed now. Let it go a little bit. Let the governor off, and all of a sudden, incrementally, he found that he had several more gears that he could go through, and he's been struggling to get distance for a while. And I think by the end of it, we were 25, 26 yards longer. And he was, I think he bought his last driver. He said a Honma driver because it was 3 yards longer. I said, what are you willing to pay for a driver that's 26 yards longer then if you bought a new one for 3 yards? So, but I mean, definitely experiment a little bit if you've got that type of smooth transition and you're a good player. You find the middle of the club anyway. Definitely give a longer, sort of lighter shaft a go. All right, lads, well done. Another quick hour.
Another Monday.
Unbelievable.
Closer to the Masters.
Another Monday closer to the Masters, Michael. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Can't wait.
Well, we need to have a little Masters Monday. Like get Augusta green on. And
I had my T-shirt
green,
on.
Before
we got on, I had my Masters T-shirt on.
You did.
So I gotta wear a nice.
You'll have an animal print on your T-shirt, don't you? I mean, you've
sign me up.
You've got a dolphin. A couple of weeks ago, it was a flamingo.
He's got skulls. You can't really see, but you can see the little thing. I like whatever. Yeah, give me flamingos, whatever. I don't care.
Flamingos and dolphins.
Sure.
Animal activist.
Well, I hit it in the water a lot, so I picked the water. The water animals seem to be popular either way.
Old Flipper, that's your new nickname.
Well, I flip at impact too. There you go.
Perfect.
Not anymore.
That's true.
Not anymore. I'm working on it.
I know. Okay, guys. What's the schedule for the week, video-wise? RB.
So I have it written down somewhere, but we've got the Tiger Ball testing. I know people asked about that. Asked about more golf ball testing. So we tested the B Tour BXS Tiger Ball. We've got some shaft content. We've got a couple. Yeah, we got one more video, I believe, from down south. We got you testing some wedges, and then next we got Cynthia's here today. She tested some fairway woods, and we're just gonna keep showcasing club fitting and how important it is.
Love it. Yeah. Now we've got tons of product in right now. I mean, we've got quite a lot in the bank. Like we're talking about videos, actually, quite a few of them we've already done, and the ones that we're going to film today probably won't get shown until the following week. I mean, we're going to do some stuff with.
This one could take a week off.
I know. No, very good.
And people have asked a lot about putters. We've got a lot of putter stuff coming.
2 weeks time, putters.
Probably 2 or 3 weeks.
That's Masters Monday. 2 weeks time, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 weeks time.
So 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks time.
2 weeks like that week.
So no, we just the goal is, especially people are looking at equipment now and just be continuing to educate, show us some stuff, have a little fun. Old versus new. I don't know if we want to crank up any more wind on any island greens anytime soon. Although
somebody was mad at us.
I did win.
Somebody was mad at us about the island green one because the wind wasn't gusting enough for them.
You can figure out.
That must have been the guy that gave us the thumbs down in the live. Cheers, Paul.
Oh, jeez. As soon as they said I saw that, this is a crap test. The wind's not gusting. Oh, my God. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, guys,
Adios.
have a great week. We will see you back here next Monday. Usual time, 12:30.
12:31.
We'll be back.
We'll see.
12:30. We'll be back next week. Have a great week.